Hey everybody, welcome to the Theatric Wrestling All-Stars podcast.
All right, and as you very well know, this here is the TWA's myth, and I am the TWA's franchise.
That's right, aka Mitchell and aka Matt.
Yes.
Oh, I just gave our true identities out.
Oh, breaking the fourth wall. Dee.
Now they know. Now all of our arch nemesises know.
But I have multiple personality disorder anyway, at least according to the TWA.
That's right. Oh my god.
Oh, you sycophant.
I just thought of a really fun t-shirt. Bipolar bear.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And there's a picture of like a polar bear, and in one thing he's like giving like a flower to a kid, and then the other one he's like ripping a head off of like a deer or a caribou or whatever.
That is awesome.
Bipolar bear. It's pretty funny. I don't know what we're going to talk about. We covered a lot of stuff in the last video about wrestling and all that. What about we can get into kind of how we all met each other and got into this world of fantasy.
Oh, absolutely. I think the real start of it started with you and Thomas.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'd known Thomas since third grade. And it's so funny because I used to think he was, I still do, but like a big nerd because he was really weird and he was real little back then. And I hung out with all the like cool kids that played basketball, and then Thomas would be like by himself, like kicking leaves over in the background. It's pretty weird.
Yeah, they do say opposites attract, though.
Yeah, well, I think I tried to pick on him sometimes. I wonder if he remembers this. But yeah, I used to try to pick on him because I saw the other boys picking on him. And then he pinched me really hard one day, and I was like, ow, this bitch. He pinched me really hard. He's tougher than everyone thinks. And then I felt kind of bad. I was like, oh, I shouldn't be picking on him.
I'm about to say, no, that's the way he's always come off, though. If you once you really got to know him, you know, it's like you push him for days and days, but when he finally snaps, oh my.
Yeah, definitely. He's real nice, but he he definitely has a good temper to him.
Yeah, he really does. About to say, I met up with you and Thomas about let's say you were about 8 or 9 or so.
Yeah, probably somewhere.
Well, back when you and Thomas met, you were about 8 or 9 or so, something like that, right?
Oh yeah, when we met, we were like 8 or 9, correct. And then when I met you, I was like right at being. I was either 13, 12.
Yeah,
or 13.
About 12 or 13. Yeah, we met each other about 4 or 5 years later. 3 of us had gotten together. You know, we started hanging out. We started, just doing whatever, and eventually all 3 of us come to find out, it's like we all liked wrestling.
Oh,
so
hell yeah, big time.
So we all ended up getting together at Thomas's house at least once a week to watch Monday Night Raw or something like that. I remember the one night where I told you guys it was changing to WWE instead of WWF. That's how far back we were watching it. I mean,
what was that, like 02?
I think it was 01.
01. Yeah, dude, that was cool because we really got super deep into it around the Invasion storyline when WCW and ECW started coming in.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was more of a flop than it needed because it didn't have the established stars of WCW, but that's a whole nother...
Yeah, it didn't live up to the hype of what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like Goldberg versus Stone Cold and Sting versus The Rock or like whoever.
Hogan, I'm about to say, Hogan, The Rock at... what was it? 18.
That matched up pretty well. Matched up pretty well.
Yeah, so ironically, we all got together on the whole wrestling gig. We watched a few pay-per-views here and there. Nothing really.
Yeah, it was cool because it was like a weekly thing. We would usually watch Raw at Thomas's house after school and like all hang out and just goof off and watch Raw. That was fun, like doing it like just every week, just all hanging out. And then sometimes we'd deviate and we'd go to Ivy's house every once in a while.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it's not like we all didn't live within, a block or 2 from each other, minus you.
Yeah. For anybody watching, we did a lot of walking back then. We walked because we all lived in close proximity.
As soon as I got my car first, that idea went to I was like, nope, I'm just going to start driving everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, that was cool. I remember being like, oh man, I wish I was driving a car.
Yeah, so I ended up driving us everywhere for a little while. You know, we were getting all kinds of things for the for what we now know as the TWA. You know, I mean, but back then, you know, before we even had access to all that, you know, we were just we were doing our thing. We'd finally decided, hey, let's start our own thing. You know.
Yeah, I remember when back before we started video recording it, but we were like trying to mimic more of professional wrestling, and so we started doing our own entrances and playing music on the radio. And then remember when you'd bought those little mini speakers for your CD player, and you just hooked it into the speakers to play your music when you came out?
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I did.
That was shortly after Thomas had finally found those old steps that he put up and he leveled with the trampoline. So it was just a trampoline with those stairs, and then we played the music on.
Yeah, about to say, you know, it was the evolution came great over time. I mean, you know, let's see, at first there was nothing but, you know, the steps leading up to the trampoline, and then we had after a while, I think you and Thomas one night went on a raid to go get some pallets and whatnot, you know, so we got them on the outside of the ring finally. The monkey bars were always there on the left side.
Yeah, the monkey bars. This thing was super duper old, and we held it together through. That thing ended up becoming 55% duct tape, and we would add extra stuff on there like broomsticks and stuff to try to stabilize it.
Let's see. We also, after a while, didn't we also duct tape the sides of the padding too? Whenever we had it, you know, that was around the springs.
Yeah,
I know we ended up having to replace a few springs.
Who else wrestled with us back then? Back before we started doing the show,
I know it was you, me, Ivy, Thomas.
Right, and then
I think one of my buddies got into it for at least one match.
Who's the guy with like the glasses that would come over? Brandon.
Yeah, yeah, he's a little bitch.
Shout out to you, Brandon. Shout out to you.
Well, that's what you get for deleting me off of Facebook. I'll just call you a bitch.
Oh man,
not even say
because
a word.
that guy wore this floral shirt, and then Thomas called him Flower Powers.
I told you he was a bitch.
That was so fun. And then they had like a pants off match to where like whoever got the other person's pants off first like was the winner.
And they won $1, I think.
Yeah.
It was so we did that.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Just a bunch of teenage boys taking each other's pants off.
Hey-o. Oh my gosh. So yeah, there was that. That was the thing. Let's see. Didn't one of Ivy's friends do it with us once? I can't remember.
Probably several of them, like kids from school that he knew.
But yeah, for the most part, we
there was Bubba. We forgot about Bubba.
I think he only had 1 or 2 matches
before the camera show, because he had that one match with Matt Roy.
Like I said, I think we only had 1 or 2.
That guy. I think he's in jail now or something. Another shout out. Oh man, yeah. So him, and then God, I don't know. That's about it.
But yeah, no matter
what.
I
remember you brought over. So there was the Brandon guy that you just gave your special shout out to. Then he had another friend too that had like long hair that came over. And he had like some weird birthmark on his face. Do you know what I'm talking about? Remember?
No, was he important?
I guess not, since you don't remember him. But
okay, good talk, bro.
Him and Flower Power came over, and then you were like, "Oh, Mitchell, give that guy a warm up."
Yeah, about to say, I don't think we. If no, I don't. But if I did, I probably
another shout out to the guy we don't know. So oh my God! All right.
But no, every now and then be like, go give them a warm up match. You know, we'd see if they'd last. You know, but at the end of the day, it always came down to the same result. It was what it always came down to.
Yeah, us four. The four. So the big staple piece of fiction from the theatric wrestling world is the founding fathers, and of course we got that from world history. Or the founding fathers of America. But we're the founding fathers of the TWA, and that's Myth, Mr. Sexy, M. Diamond, and Showtime. They were the 4 original characters. Because really, it was just me, Matt, Thomas, and our friend Ivy and that it was just us four mainly wrestling. So that's why. And then we built multiple characters
we built the roster
of those four existing, and then also added in other people through the years.
We added in, what was it, Matt Roy.
Yeah. So one of the funny things about our friendship with Matt Roy and his inclusion into our wrestling club is that you were doing the WLF thing at the time.
Yes.
You were trying to mimic the Invasion story.
Yeah. We all thought it was cool, you know.
And then you were trying to recruit Ivy, and then me and Thomas were like, "That son of a bitch."
So
we were like, "Oh, well, we got to pull a wild card." So then I remember seeing Matt Roy over at Bubba's house when we were all over there hanging out. I said that really redneck. Bubba's house. And Matt Roy was on a lawnmower. He was on a riding lawnmower. And then I remember telling Thomas, I was like, "Hey, I know that guy." And he was like, "Yeah, he used to go to Greenwood Elementary School with us. He was a grade lower." And I was like, "Oh yeah, he's I remember seeing him." He's like, "Yeah, he actually lives a little bit further down."
About to say, little known fact, I actually went to school with Matt at some point.
Matt Roy?
Yeah, sure did. No, when about to say, we went together to Brentwood for a little bit. True story. True story.
Huh. Yeah, well, I remember seeing him then. I was like, "Oh, he seems like a cool guy, I guess." I was on a riding lawn. I thought it was like Bobby Boucher from Waterboy.
So yeah, we got Matt Roy in. You know, there was this that we finally actually, because of that shit, that's where we actually started building the whole thing. You know, believe it or not, that was. I mean, you know, y'all were kind of a little irritated at me at first, but if it wasn't for that move, we wouldn't have built it.
We just went along with the storyline and we just added on, and so we recruited him.
But once again, if it wasn't for that, though, I don't think we would have built up to where we ended up going.
But I still remember we talked to him, and then we had him come over. Listen, this is super hilarious. So we had him come over to Thomas's house, and we had a table. You would have thought this is like a real business deal. We were like kids. We sat him down. We had a plate of Vienna sausages in like a circle.
Yeah, I'm about to say, didn't you have a contract too, or something like that?
Of course, that I typed out. And I typed out on Tanya's computer, and I printed it out, and I had an X with a line from the sign his signature on it. It was deep. And then we had fruit dip with strawberries, and we made Ivy come out like to be like the waiter. And then we had like sparkling cider or sparkling grape juice, and we poured it in a goblet that was from like 1970. We were giving it to Matt,
but it was some good shit though. Yeah, I mean, dude. You know, we all
Thomas has, hopefully he can do this podcast soon, so he has like this notebook, or this folder rather, that has all these old contracts.
And he still has it?
Oh yeah, definitely. And so it's really funny. I'm pretty sure the very first one that Matt did might probably still be in there. But we had him sign the contract, and then I told him, because I was doing the commissioner character, and I was like, "Oh, so you're gonna be this character's son, and you're gonna be," because right now, our other friend is doing. He's doing his like WLF thing, and so we're gonna like surprise him with having a new draft character. And I remember when we were having like a skit doing it, and we were on the trampoline, and I was like the commissioner, and you were M. Diamond.
Oh God!
And I was like, "Oh, well, there's a new person I have on my thing coming out," and then you were like. Well, I mean, what are you going to do? Thomas can't play another character. He's already doing Blocko and Shadow Man. And then we played the music. And then I was just like, "Oh, you'll see." Anyways, here he is now. Ladies and gentlemen, my son, Hax. And then the music plays. And then Matt Roy comes out and does like a front flip. And then you were like, "Oh, I didn't see that coming."
Yeah, I didn't see it coming. You know, I mean, we had, you know, I was thinking, you know, the whole time, you know, it's like, you know, we can draft some people, you know, we can actually make it bigger than it was, you know, actually have more of a roster to where, you know, you guys weren't exactly killing yourselves with too many multiple characters. I mean, that never changed, by the way, but, you know.
If this was a book, it would be the next chapter would just change. It was like, and then there was 5.
And then there was 5.
Because then Matt Roy coming in made 5
like I said,
people doing this bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, I said it last week. I'll say it again. You know, if anybody ever deserved to change it to the 5, Matt Roy was it, bar none. Well, we added Matt Roy later on. The next mainstay we added on, I believe, until season 5, you know, it was kind of off again, on again, you know, due to his schedule. But Jason, I believe, was our 6th.
Yeah, Jason. So we met Jason through skating and church and all that, and then he started hanging out with us all the time.
And once again, no matter what, you know,
rock show.
Yeah, about to say, even then, you know, we all had a wrestling connection.
Oh yeah,
we all did.
We all watched WWE, WWF, whatever it was at the time.
Very occasionally we would watch TNA too at the time. Yeah, I talked you guys into watching a match or two of TNA. Right. So that was but yeah, no matter what, we always had additional people that wanted to get involved, you know, but they didn't realize. Some of them, like my buddy James, who was in season 4 or whatever.
Which one was that?
And what was it, James Dawson or whatever?
Oh, Jesse Dawson.
Yes, Jesse.
Yeah,
yes,
that's right, because you fought me as Crocodile Bundy.
Yes, so they didn't realize how physical we could actually get.
Yeah.
You know, they thought,
we've been doing it for a while, though.
Well, yeah, but then again, they didn't think, you know, hey, it's that physical, you know, hey, we want to do it some more, and then you'd only see him one time, and you'd be like...
Did he comment on that? Was he like, oh, man, that was...
Oh, he said he liked it, but, you know, deep...
Let's get physical.
But, no,
Shout out to Madonna. Hashtag Madonna.
Dee. No, we no, so some of my friends would be like, well, I don't know how you do this, you know, after a while, you know. It's like, no, we do it, we're fine, you know, we're used to it. We've done it, what, show after show after show after show. Other than what is it, I'm about to say once again, Hacks / Matt Roy, of course. He never got the credit he deserved, because don't quite quote me on unless we look back, but for every pay-per-view we had 5.
Right.
Technically, I believe only 4 characters throughout the entire TWA did all 5 pay-per-views. That was Mr. Sexy, Showtime, Blocko, and Hacks.
Oh, really?
If my accuracy is correct, they are the only 4 who have done all 5 pay-per-views.
What about Shadow Man? He wrestled the Shadow Hunter at Spring Cleaning, and then he wrestled the Hunter at Backyard Brutality, where he lost the submission match. And then Hard Havoc, he was in the tournament, so he definitely was in there, because he was...
Yes, he was.
Semi-final.
Rage was a triple threat.
Right.
What was ASC?
Oh, the tag match.
Yes, it was. So Shadow Man was the...
so Shadow Man's another one.
I believe the Hunter was, too.
Hard Havoc, he was...
He was in the main event.
Right, he was in the main event. Rage... He was in a tag match with Damien, because they beat the Jenkins.
Yep, for the Twin Star Tag Team Championship.
Yeah, so the Hunter was also.
So yeah, there's only been a few characters who have spanned all 5 pay-per-views.
Right.
So but yeah, as far as notable high-profile names, and for us anyway, you know, Hacks, you know, despite him not being one of the 4, you know, his championship match with you at Hard Havoc, especially the part where he got slammed stomach first onto that cooler.
Dude, he legit busted my mouth open. We were using a bunch of different weapons, and there was the little cardboard cylinder.
Oh, the tube / cylinder. Yeah.
He like chunked that at my face, and it perfectly just went whap and hit me like right in the mouth, and it like gashed one of my gums open, and it was just blood was pouring out of my mouth.
Yeah, so I remember
pouring out of my mouth.
I remember you slammed him like damn near rib first on that cooler. I mean, it
probably was a reaction to my mouth being gashed open.
So he did. So you did that.
Awesome.
His match with Skull at Rage was pretty good. I like that.
That he kind of reinvented himself at that point. You know, he came out with a new gimmick, new music, new look.
Let's see.
That was a real good match too.
I'm about to say. Then again, there was his match with the King at ASC.
Yeah, that was a pretty epic one. Father versus son, the classic Luke Skywalker versus Darth Vader angle.
Yes.
It's good.
Except it was like Darth Vader versus Darth Vader, because you couldn't decide which one you wanted to kill each other more.
Right, because technically they were both bad guys. It was like, you know, he was just the less, I guess Hacks was the lesser of the 2 evils. We like bad guys in the TWA, apparently. Everybody wants to be a bad guy. Nobody wants to be a good guy. Even if you are a good guy, you're still an asshole.
Yeah, I mean, take Ivy, for example, you know? Oh, my God. I tried so hard.
Or me as Myth. Just like...
I'm about to say, no, me trying to build him up. I'm about to say Ivy had played, you know, a heel his entire career.
Right.
So.
The only right, basically. The only person that was just super clean cut baby face was Thomas as Mr. Sexy. But then he couldn't hold an interview or like do anything on the mic at all.
No, which is why
I'm
about to say that's why I had to talk for him in season 2. I'm like,
put your money where your mouth is. Whoa, boys, break it up. Skull. I'd rather not put my butt on my mouth like you do.
Oh,
idiot.
And then when you finally watch,
just kidding, Thomas.
No, he's not. But no, when I finally got to speak, when I finally got to speak for the both of us in season 2, it's like, hey,
great, we got 2 of the biggest talents in the TWA teaming up against 2 of the biggest jackses in the TWA teaming up.
And then after you were like, hey, did you like how I edited myself? I was like, yes, we did.
Yeah, because you know we weren't all big on you know. I was the only one cursing at the time, you know, because I was older, you know.
Here's what's so funny, though, about that, right? We weren't big on cussing. We were in church super hardcore, and we were trying to be good little Christian boys. And so we were trying not to cuss. But then we did everything else. We made, like, a bunch of terrible innuendos. There was a bunch of derogatory marks made.
And then just random things like, Donnie, if I were a man, I would have your baby.
Right, just so many just politically incorrect dialogues, but we just didn't cuss.
So we were talking about being politically incorrect, you know, the cursing and all that. So you know, we just if there was something to be said, we had to say it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I think the only curse word I could get away with at the time was "damn." That was about it.
Yeah, I feel like we were more like very amateur comedians than we were actual wrestlers.
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, if you really sit back and think about it, I mean, we did decent athletic stuff. We are decent, you know. We had decent physiques and athletic ability or whatever.
Yeah. So yeah, speak for yourself, dude. I look like.
Hey man, start taking steroids, dude.
Oh, shout out to superstar Billy Graham.
Oh hell yeah. Yeah, dude, those are so funny. Would you so I was talking about me getting my mouth busted open, and it was bad too, because like I think my lip got split, and then like up here my gum got like gashed, and so like I was bleeding from 2 different areas of my mouth. So I remember just like in that match, like being on the ground and blood, there's a small pool of blood, and I remember, I don't know if it was Ivy or somebody else saw it, and they're, oh man, your mouth's bleeding really bad. And I was like, I know. Stupid Matt Roy.
Let's see.
What was do you remember one of the times that you got hurt really bad?
Oh yeah, I can remember. I'm sitting right next to the guy that did it, but it was also my fault too. Oh god, the chain match at Rage where I had that DDT on the solid ground. I mean, you picked the worst spot for a DDT, and I'm like, I mean, this is all solid dirt ground. It's like you're hitting a concrete wall, and now you snapped it too. And I was like, oh, I'm about to say I wasn't selling. I did not know where I was at that moment. I was like. And then you're like, and I remember you talking to me during the match. It's like, dude, are you okay? Huh? What? Okay, I'm gonna put you on this table. We're gonna do the thing. Oh, okay.
Would you say that hurt worse, or the crutch to the arm?
Oh, the first time you did it. I don't know how yeah, we had to stop the match for 2 weeks. I don't know how the hell you did it. I don't know how the hell you did it. So we had a shot with the crutch. We were just at the start of the chain match too, and he hit it in literally the perfect spot and sprained my arm for 2 weeks.
Well, I think I hit it like on the joint, and I hit a nerve, right?
You hit
you said you couldn't feel it.
I could not feel my arm. I finally felt it the next day, but it was so sore. It took me at least 4 days.
Yeah,
to heal from that.
That happened to Thomas. Me and him were wrestling. Apparently, I'm notorious for people's arms up with stuff. But I was wrestling Thomas as Eagle Heart, wrestling Usaki.
Oh yes, I remember that.
Right? And so I was Eagle Heart came out with this little stick that was his little prop, his in Native American gimmick, and I was hitting him with that stick and hitting him, and then he like went to block it, and then it hit him right there on that joint, the same area where you got hit with the crutch, and then his whole arm like locked up, and we had to stop, and he said he couldn't feel his arm. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah,
it's a delicate area apparently.
I did take a hard shot from Matt one time when
Matt Roy?
Yes, I did take a shot from him when he was the hunter during our submission match.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I mean, he could, and I found out later on what had happened. You know,
I thought when he was blind swinging and you got punched in the face.
He was blind. I happened to catch it near the end, finally. But no, what happened?
You.
Yeah, it
turned your lights out for a sec.
It did for a second, but I got right back up. So I found out later on his mask got adjusted, so he couldn't see, and I was like, oh shit. Yeah, and then that was the point where I went to the drop toe hold in the ankle lock because we had to finish the match so he could fucking see.
Dude, that match was intense, dude. Everything about that match was intense. The performance and then the announcing.
Oh, it was our first submission match too. You know, it's like, it was.
That was in season 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Show 2, right?
Yeah, but that was where the submission match came around. You know, I'm like, I'm talking to you about it. You know, we had decided to talk about, my stipulation from Backyard Brutality. You know, during our matches, the King
you were commissioner
Diamond.
for a day, right?
I was. I gave you the idea. It's like, well, he's got a submission. I should probably start, doing my own. So, the submission match idea came into play. You know, we're like, okay, well, let's see what we can do with it.
Yeah, that was.
I'm about to say I was held in the 9-ball for at least a good minute. I mean, it may not look like it hurts, but if with the right pressure, that damn thing does hurt. And then I'm trying to carry his 160 pounds or so on top of my 200, just trying to get to the end of the bars or something, just to try and make a good climactic feel for it all.
Right, suspense, building suspense. A real quick little side note on a physiology topic. So we wrestled so much, and it's on a trampoline. I was talking about this last podcast about how, we're not really getting hurt that bad. It's on a trampoline, but the actual strenuous physical labor of doing all that on a trampoline, when there's like the gravity's different, it's so much more of a cardiovascular workout. But another thing I was gonna say, also the luxury of that is like we didn't get hurt, because if we were doing this like on a ring, we'd probably have
speaking of, what about
issues and stuff like that.
What about we were talking about actual hits, what about hits that looked a lot more painful than they were, though?
Like what?
At Hard Havoc, when we had that triple threat, when I dove off the ladder, when I set Thomas up. No, so I told Thomas, I was like, okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm going to put you on this garbage can. I'm going to go up the ladder a little bit, because in the background, and I can still remember to this day, you changed to the King Seth voice when I started climbing up the ladder. It was so hilarious.
I did. As an announcer, I went into the King Seth voice. That's like my,
It was the only time he ever did it, because Mitchell didn't see it coming either. So here I am. I'm just like, okay, so I got him on this garbage can, and he's like, what? And it's like, no.
Oh my god! I remember speaking of that, I think it was in 4th season. Yeah, it was 4th season, and there's like a match that was happening, and a bunch of chaos was breaking out, and then I can't. No, it was 3rd season, because I was rivaling with Matt Roy's Hacks.
Yes,
and then I came out and interfered in one of his matches. And I you still use the commissioner's voice, but I was Myth. And I came out and I was like, you piece of crap.
You piece of crap.
Yeah, it was super funny.
Yeah.
Tiger suplex him.
Yeah,
oh, man.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Funny, dude.
Yeah, there was that. But yeah, I think that was the one that looked like it hurt a lot, but it didn't, was that trash can thing, because it cushioned me real well.
Those trash cans were perfect, because they were loud when you got hit by them, especially the trash can lid. Super loud. super loud and it dented in, but it really didn't hurt. It was thin and it was
I'm
very
about to say,
shock absorbing.
You know, it was funny. Every time we had to go on a supply run, you were always the one that I went with. It was hilarious. We'd always go get stuff. You know,
Well, I had a good eye for stuff that was, for dramatics, that looked real and was more pliable to the illusion that we're actually hurting each other with weapons.
Yeah, and then there was the bug zapper.
Yes.
Oh my God, yes. Yeah, whenever we were on break, what did we do? Sometimes we would impale roaches with a stick and then send them to the bug zapper. It was great. No, like I said, I still remember one night we just left it on all night long by accident. Next thing you know, there's this pile of dead insects underneath the.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
That was so excellent.
But when we were, getting together, we after every show, I believe you said it last show, we always had Matt Roy, set up the camera, no matter where we were at.
Yeah, we usually watched it at his house.
Yeah, we always had a couple of AV cables, ready to just plug straight into the camera. We'd watch it raw and unedited,
Yeah, dude. During third season, the Hard Havoc tournament, the No Rules tournament, and you entered yourself in. You did that when you were commissioner before because you got to be commissioner. But you had that. I think your first match was against Magical Jester, wasn't it?
That was my idea too. I was like, let's see what we can. Let's see what we can do with a little bit of.
Do you remember, obviously, Thomas using Ivy's little sister's purple or pink bicycle?
Oh my gosh, yes!
Coming out and hitting you from behind.
That was amazing.
That was my idea.
That was amazing.
I was like, dude, get Melissa's bike and like drive into him. Don't even. And the ending result was. Did you know he was coming out? Like, what, were you surprised or what? I always wanted to ask you this.
I was like, and then later on, I was trying not to laugh in front of the camera because I thought it was hilarious.
God, that match was excellent.
And then he shoot me with the water gun, and
he hits you with the like blow up pool ducky thing. The pool float.
He does that, and then after he keeps shooting me with it, I'm just standing there. He's like,
it's not working anymore, and then he throws it at you. Dude, that was so funny.
Yes, it's like, Daddy, don't.
Oh man, but the bike thing, that completely surprised you.
Oh my gosh, because I knew it would be hilarious.
Yeah. So when we watched that in Matt's room, like that night, we literally rewound it probably like 10 times in a row and watched it, and the whole room. I don't think you were there.
No, I think I had to go. No, I think I had to go to work.
But it was me, Matt's younger brother, Robert, Ivy. I think Jason might have been there, Thomas, and me. And we rewound it and watched it over and over and over again.
That was one of the funniest Magical Jester moments ever.
Matt's mom came into the room because we kept laughing so loud. She's like, "What are y'all doing?" And we're like, "Oh, rewind and show her again." It's so funny. Yeah. You can't even recreate.
I'm about to say the other funniest moment was when what was it? Magical Jester versus Croc Bundy.
Oh, crocodile!
Oh yeah, and then I like big booted him.
That was hilarious.
God, he's biting me. Bite me, mate. Yeah,
it was cool. It was so funny because he did the crocodile chomp right on the balls. He's chomp.
Yeah.
That was great.
Dude, when he plays Magical Jester, I don't know who's more over the top, that character he does or Narcoleptic Nudist.
Oh, it's the Narcoleptic Nudist.
I wish there was a way we could split them in half and have them wrestle each other.
I'm about to say the Narcoleptic Nudist actually had a pay-per-view match though.
Yeah, Magical Jester hasn't wrestled at a pay-per-view, I don't think. He was at the halftime show for Backyard Brutality, the Magic Hour with Kako. Remember?
Oh, the halftime shows.
Yeah, because then King Seth came out.
Okay, so we have to talk about one of the We've got to talk about one of the cornerstones of our show. The halftime events we always did during what was it? Every pay per view we did.
Yeah,
that was we had what was it? Magical Jester Storytime Hour.
Yeah, that was at Backyard Brutality. We filmed a lot of skit commercial type thing.
I remember at the start of season 4, well before we did the pay-per-view, I had to talk you into the corporation karaoke hour.
Yeah, that was so funny.
I was like, okay, so here's what I said. I got one for you, Mitchell. The corporation karaoke hour.
Yeah, and that's when I first covered Christina Aguilera's "I'm Beautiful." or You Are Beautiful, whatever it is.
I had to talk
as the commissioner.
I think I had to talk you into. I talked you. I was like, Mitchell, I got it. You should say "I am beautiful" and just do it all about yourself.
Yeah, it wasn't "You Are Beautiful," it was "I Am Beautiful."
Yeah. So I told him to do that. So I got him to do that. I was training for my match against Myth, at the time. So we had Thomas come out as one of the M Diamond personas, and then you're like, MDG, you look different. Get in the ring. Showing how unhinged you were.
It's a parody inside of a parody inside of a parody.
Yeah, it was so funny.
Many parodies.
And getting them to sing, what was it, Holy Diver?
Damn it. A gnat in here trying to get me.
We're singing what, Holy Diver too on top of it?
Holy Diver, and then so there's Christina Aguilera song. Money by Pink Floyd.
Yes.
Yeah. Which makes sense because King Seth's character is obsessed with money and rich.
Like money.
Yeah. That was so hilarious.
And it was leading up into what?
Was it Hack's Skull?
I think it was Hack's Skull. Yes, it was. Yeah, because that was the triple main event for Rage.
Right.
Was Hack's Skull, the 2 falls out of 3, and then our chain.
Yeah.
I mean, Rage flowed perfectly. It
really did.
Rage flowed well. I think out of all the pay-per-views, Hard Havoc flowed the best, in my opinion, followed by All-Star Classics.
Okay. Are you going in order from your the ones you think are the best?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hard Havoc's your number one.
I think Hard Havoc had one of the best flows. Yeah, so I think if you're looking in terms of pure pay-per-view flow, you got
Hard Havoc, All-Star Classics.
Rage had its own flow.
Rage.
Of course, Backyard Brutality had its own flow in its own way.
And then you go Spring Clean.
Yeah.
That's a good list.
Like I said, it depends on your personal favorites, though. I mean, if you look back at it, that's my personal take on the flow. Hard Havoc flowed just right. That's why we always called it our WrestleMania.
Well, that makes sense, too, because Hard Havoc came off of the cusp of third season, which was that season flowed the best of all the seasons. And it was also the shortest. 8 episodes, and they all just went boom, boom. My bad.
I remember
boom.
I remember when you and I were...
the quickest season we ever did.
I remember when we were booking the pay-per-view, you and I were looking at the matches one day. I was like, well, we should definitely start the Hard Havoc tournament here. We were talking about Blocko and Hunter closing the show, near the end of it all. And then we had everything in between. And I think you did try and put your match before the triple threat. I'm like, no, bad. We need the... TWA Championship near the end, near the newly formed Hard Havoc Championship.
Right.
So, but had we done it in the opposite way, I think it would have messed up the flow a bit. Because I mean, it is the TWA Championship.
Yeah, I mean, it's the highest honors.
Exactly.
The biggest title to have. Yeah, man. We.
But do you see why I think Hard Havoc just had the best flow of all our pay-per-views overall? Mm-hmm. I mean, you can go back and watch it. You can see the flow.
Yeah, it also comes off of, besides our best, not best, but our quickest, most smoothest season. It also came off of the tournament we were having, which made it kind of, I guess, more interesting.
Oh yeah,
that's why it'll be our WrestleMania, because it every time we have another one, it was supposed to, that season is supposed to be the tournament again. So when we do Hard Havoc 2, then it would be the season would go back into the tournament mode again.
I'm about to say, spoiler, season 6 will be Hard Havoc 2 if we ever get around to it.
If we ever get around to that, it's going to be our next. We say pay-per-view, obviously it's not a real pay-per-view, maybe not yet, who knows, but we just call it that. It's our big show at the end of the season. Hard Havoc 2
Havoc 2, I'm about to say that, and maybe I can finally retire in peace this time.
Or in pieces. Because you're supposed to wrestle Jason, right? Yep.
Main event.
Yeah, for the Hard Havoc Championship of the world.
Yeah, I'm about to say, now Oh my God! Talk about people who built themselves up. Season 5. I mean, I've said it again over and over again about Matt Roy as Hax. You know how he evolved season, he shined in season 5. With his TWA championship reign. It was great. Not that I'm taking away from that whatsoever. Dark horse of the season of season 5. You want to talk about one of our friends that finally came out of the shadows and just boom, there it was. Jason. So, we'll do the Hard Habit Championship and all that, but here's what I want you to do. After the ladder match, when I'm duct taped around the ladder and whatnot, I want you to cut this promo. Just go at it. Just go.
Run around. Everybody's a sycophant. I doubt you even know what that word means.
Oh my God.
You are on a damn chair and he's all taped.
Yeah, he cut a real good bit.
Yes, he did. Absolutely, and you're telling.
Would you say that's his turning moment right there?
I want to say it helped, but I don't want to say he had one moment. I want to say he evolved himself.
Yeah.
But once again, it's nothing against Jason, bar none. I mean, we all understood he had shit time too.
Sure.
We all know that. So, I think his evolution in season 5, when he did the whole WLF thing, okay, fine, had that going, and he finally evolved his character into more.
Right.
Instead of us just putting him in a throwaway match,
yeah,
which will help build him in season 6 by far. I mean, think about it.
Yeah, because he'll be a top contender, actually, not part of a team or.
Actually, he is part of a team.
Well, I mean, he's the leader of the team, though. Like, he's not a part of it. He is it.
No, what I think that promo did was establish that he could be a leader.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I want to say it. I don't want to say it defined him
creatively.
Yeah, I'm about to say. I want to say it showed that he could have been a leader. He had frustration, and I just told him, say whatever you want. I mean, it's all good. Like, here I am, duct taped to the bottom of a ladder anyway. I mean, hell, what am I gonna do? So, I just said, just go with it. And he did. And I think, bar none, it showed that he could be a leader. So to a point, did I think it took him off? Yes. But I think he also did that on his own during the entire season, if you look back at it.
Mm.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree.
However, if I had to take one of our friends and decide what happened to him, I don't know why we never did it, but we never pushed Cash. Who always got the bigger push, Dracule?
It's because he beat Mr. Sexy.
Robert never got a main push on Cash. Never.
Well, I mean, he got recruited by Mr. Damn Gorgeous, and he was one of his top enforcers.
Yeah.
Here's my opinion of it. So he started to get a push, and then he fizzled. Kind of like Amal. He got that kind of a big push and then never went anywhere with it. Because he got the big push, and then after that, he just segued into, now he's like a crony for the hardcore society with Jason. And now he's just another backup character again.
I think personally, a win over Blanco, regardless of whether it was cheating and whatnot, would maybe a little hand on. Right. I think a little hand on the. I think the roll up with the hands on the trunks or tights or whatever, or the pants. Right, I think that would have. I think that would have put him in a stronger contention for the
to beat Blanco. Absolutely.
Well, yeah, because
Blanco's only lost twice. Well, technically 3 times. I forgot.
But yeah,
Showtime, Usaki, and Hax.
But the point is if I think the Cash character could have done better. I think he could have gotten the win and it wouldn't have hurt Blanco terribly. I don't think, not in retrospect.
Mm.
But I think deep down he may have needed that boost. But I look back on it.
Yeah.
But that's only because, you know, he had finally well, we can call it for what we will. You know, he grunged himself up a little bit. You know, he got the beard. You know, he got
his head.
Yeah, he got the beard. He got you know, he got the new look. And you know, he had the good physical start with Blanco at the time.
Yeah.
So, you know, maybe in retrospect it should have happened like that.
Yeah.
But that's just my take. I mean, I don't know about anybody else's take.
Yeah,
but
yeah, I can see where you're coming from on that. But my internal dialogue when it comes to Robert is just. I'm just kidding, Robert.
No, he's not.
I'm just kidding, Robert. No eggs.
No, he's not.
God, I hope Robert watches this. Oh well, Robert. Looks like we screwed the pooch on your direction.
Woof woof.
Back to good old Fall Guy again for you.
D.
Oh man.
Oh, so
what would you say your what's your favorite match at All Star Class? You had to pick one. That just, and it could be your own match. I don't care.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I liked my ladder match with Ivy. It is so hard for me to pick one. In terms of raw physical performance, that would be the Myth Mr. Sexy for the TWA Championship. I like the way I announced the match.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I wanted to give you two that big fight feel. You know, we had discussed it. You know, it's like, okay, so I'm out there with the mask. I'm actually introducing all. You know, because that was the first time we had ever done that too.
Yeah, basically.
So here we are set up. You know, I'm doing the whole first time. The first time, you know, it's like the following contest set for one fall is for the WA champion.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, I don't know about you, but it definitely made me feel like, you know, it was a bigger fight feel than what it was. So,
right.
the physicality and the pure presentation of the match combined with the announcing that Ivy and I did, and after a while when Matt Roy joined us, you know, that match couldn't be touched.
Mm.
The commissioner's match with Axe, you know, you and Matt Roy, that one kind of had me a little sentimental there.
I was about to say,
that was a sentimental
out of all
favorite.
the matches, that one was the most emotionally resonating.
That one was a sentimental favorite because, you know, me and you know, when I had my rivalry with you, you know, we were friends, we were enemies, blah blah blah.
Right.
I think if you're looking in terms of raw emotion and performance, you look at the ladder match with me and Ivy.
Yeah, can you believe Ivy tried to overdo you with beating up a woman?
At the end of it all,
listening, it's like, what? He beat up a woman?
So yeah, we were discussing that. You know, I was looking at it with
man. He tried to take your thunder, man.
He didn't do that good of a job.
Oh, yeah.
He just hit a spine buster. I planted her on her face.
That's right. Can we all just like put Amy through a table? Is that possible?
Yeah. Well, that's for season 6.
I'm gonna have to. I'll talk to Thomas about it.
Yeah. So. Oh man, that promo I cut with Amy.
Haley's comment off the top, double stack table on fire. 5th season, really, we put all of our acting chops on the table. Out of all the seasons, you can argue which seasons were the best, which was the quickest, which was the smoothest, which had the best action. But hands down, bar none, season 5 had the best drama, the best acting.
Season
call it acting.
Oh please, season 5 was our heart, bar none.
Yeah,
it was our heart poured out.
Well, because also we were like, well, I mean, we don't know if we're going to do this ever again. So this could just be it. So we got to go balls to the walls. One thing, if I had to complain about 5th season, is it's the most dramatic of the seasons. It's most emotional of the seasons, but it's also one of the most crammed seasons. There's so much shit just crammed in there, so much content, so many storylines and subplots, and just crushed in there.
I don't know. We always keep going back to 5th season. You know, it's the most recent one we did.
Yeah, it's the biggest season.
Every season deep down holds a place, like right here. You know it.
Yeah, man. It's our intellectual property. It's our creation.
Well, yeah. I mean, never know it, but 2nd season was my other favorite season.
That was a good one. A lot of stuff started shifting.
Yep, we got to see the return finally of all 4.
Right. Yeah, and some introduction to some new wacky characters.
Yep, it saw the return of all 4. It was Hax's turning point.
Yeah. It's so funny we created all this, right? Up to this point. Now we're making a podcast talking about it. And we did all this from just hanging out, watching wrestling, and playing video games. Playing wrestling video games. Playing No Mercy. Yeah. Speaking of, next podcast, we're going to play No Mercy.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. We're going to play it.
I haven't played that in so long.
We're going to knock the cobwebs off and get a game in for the podcast.
Dust it off and beat it out.
And review it so people can watch it. People probably watch it that don't even care about this. Because like you said last time, No Mercy is like one of the, still holds as one of the most famous wrestling games.
If not the most famous, sure does. You could look on Metacritic right now and see it.
Yeah, I mean, I believe it. It's still like, I played it a couple years ago, and it was still very fun. I mean, the graphics obviously aren't as good, blah blah blah, but it's still just, it's the game engine, the way it's played, the way everything works. It's just so perfect. I wish they would make another game like that, but just up to date. Guess they won't ever.
Yeah, there's no telling what.
Yeah. The first time I did a Swanton bomb off the ladder to somebody on the table. Excellent. Super awesome. Well, I think we're gonna wrap it up, dude. See you guys next show. Peace. I'm your host, Mick Dick, and this is my co-host,
Slappy McPenis.
All right.
Or should I just call myself Flappy?
Oh my god. All right. Yeah, dude, I'm ready whenever you are. Chilling.